Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. You ever think it would be interesting maybe to work on a cruise ship? Well, it just so happens that today's guest does just that. She is the featured soloist at Princess Cruises. Welcome, Michelle Joly. Welcome to the show,
Thank you
Michelle.
so much. Thanks, Nancy.
I'm interested to know, how did you get a job on Princess Cruises?
Well, I have an agent, Seagull Entertainment out of Vancouver, and they're not doing cruise ships at the moment, but they asked me if I wanted to audition, and I auditioned, and that's how I got the gig.
Oh, so when was that? When did you first start?
That was at the end of 2018.
Okay. Now, I know that you at one time were, let's see, the residential vocal and guitar entertainer at the Fairmount Jasper Park Lodge.
Yes, that was in, I guess that would have been September, October, November, December, January of 2021.
Oh, okay. So again, that was through your agent. Got that.
That was through my same agent. And then from there, I went over to Calgary and I was doing the weekends at the Fairmont Palliser there.
Wow. Okay. So when did you first start performing?
I guess I went to college, like, it's been about 20 years now. And then it was after that I kind of slowly started performing. So I think would have been like around 2004.
Okay.
And then it was kind of just here and there. But when I became like full-time, musician would have been like 2016.
Ah, I see. Okay. Now you taught music as well, right? At Long and McQuaid in Vancouver?
Yes. And also the Long and McQuaid and Red Deer, Alberta before that. So I taught for about 15 years. I'm based kind of out of Long and McQuaid's. And also I did my own, I opened up my own school as well in North Vancouver.
So what do you teach? What musical instrument?
Guitar, piano, and voice.
Oh, wow. All of those. So now on the cruise, when you're working, is it, do you sing and play the guitar or play the piano? How does that work?
I do. So I'm hired as a guitar and vocal entertainer. However, because I play piano, they definitely allow me to, give it an experience. And sometimes I loop my guitar and I jump over to the piano and I play there. But I also play sometimes with the orchestra. I do like a featured show, the music of Adele. So I just sing and then the orchestra plays behind me.
So tell me about the setting. There you are, you're on the ship. Tell me, and then you're starting to perform. What's the setting there?
So most of the time I'm playing in the piazza, which is the atrium. It's the center of the ship. So there's different levels of shops and restaurants and stuff, and it's very open. So that would be like deck 5. Okay. And then deck 6, deck 7, deck 8, you'll see those decks in the middle of the ship. Yeah. And I'm on the stage down on deck 5, singing there most of the time, solo guitar and voice or solo piano and voice.
So how long does that gig last?
Typically it's about 4 months, around there, 3.5. My contract this time is 3.5 months. Okay.
So I'm just trying to understand, like, how does that work with your private life? Because if you're away for that length of time.
It can be very, very challenging. Actually, I think, it's not a real life here. So to try and create a real life on land when you're not on land very often is very difficult. There's lots of sacrifices to make. Watching my niece and nephew grow up, for example, I'm missing a lot of stuff, and because I'm way out in Europe right now, the time difference is so drastic, right? It's 5 o'clock p.m. here for me, where it's 8 o'clock a.m. for you.
Right. Yeah.
So it can be very challenging. I do have a relationship that I'm trying to make work, because, at the end of the day, when I come home, I do want to have some type of normalcy there.
For sure. Yeah. So, one of the things I watched is Below Deck, this show called Below Deck, where they work on cruise ships. And that's the same thing, like trying to maintain a relationship with somebody who's not working on a cruise ship, Yeah. And it always seems to be very difficult. That other person has to be very understanding, right?
Yes, and a lot of people, to tell you the truth, travel around together. So
Ah,
even if they're not working in the same department, they'll kind of link up and they'll work on the same cruise ship together. So then
right,
they can be together during their contracts.
right.
But there's other people, that do have families at home. I know lots of people that are here, but they have a husband or they have a wife at home with children, and it's very, very difficult. And some of these people here have 9-month contracts. Most of the people,
Oh,
most are 6 to 9 months.
wow.
So for musicians, we have a very shorter amount of time that we have to spend here.
Now, is that something you would recommend?
If you love, I do love it, because I really wanted to travel, and it's a great way to be able to travel, do what you love, really hone your craft, because you're playing every single day. You get no days off. So you become like really, really skilled in, whatever instrument that you're playing. As for a different job on the cruise ship, I'm not sure I would want to be doing another position other than an entertainer, because as entertainers, we're allowed to go on to the different decks. We can basically experience it like a guest experiences it.
Right.
We can eat at the same places. We can go to the top pool deck. We can't go swimming in the pool, but we have our own crew pool. So it's kind of, and plus we have the whole day off most of the time, so we can go out in the ports and experience it like a guest.
So tell me,
So if you love to travel, yes, do
yeah,
it.
tell me some of the places you've been to when in port.
Oh my gosh. Well, right now we're in Marseille, France. It's the oldest city in France.
Okay.
It has the Notre Dame Cathedral there. And I've been, I started out in Asia, like Tokyo, Taiwan, Japan, Hong Kong. And then we traveled up and did like Belgium, Vietnam, and then Malaysia. And then we went to Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and all those little islands in there. And I've done lots of the Caribbean islands. Lots of places in Europe, Germany,
Wow.
where were we just? Oh, Italy. Now we're in the Mediterranean, so we're doing Italy and Spain, lots of places in Spain. So yeah, the UK.
It sounds awesome. What are your quarters like, just out of curiosity?
Well, sometimes for me, like right now, I'm sharing a cabin with a girl. But sometimes I get my own cabin. It just depends on how many musicians there are. As a soloist, sometimes we get a little bit more perks if we can sing and play an instrument. So right now my cabin has no windows. It's very small. It's bunk beds. I'm on the bottom bunk, and it's just a very tight space. However, I just had a room that had, two. It was probably twice as large. It was by myself. I had a queen size bed, 2 portholes. So this is kind of what I'm working towards. My next contract, I want to be in a different position, which is called the crooner's resident guest entertainer.
Right.
And then I will always have a cabin with windows. And it does make a big difference, when you do have your own space and you can see outside.
Right. Now, do any of the people traveling on the cruise ship, like the people that, whatever you call them, do they come up to you? Do they interact with you?
Oh, the guests, yes, the guests, they definitely are always wanting to know everything that you're asking about as well. And I'm allowed to sit with the guests and socialize. And
Good.
I definitely make connections with them. A lot of them, sometimes they send me gifts when they get home, and they'll take me out into, port and buy me dinner or something like this, right? It's always things like that. They're making an announcement.
I love that.
It's quite loud.
No
This is the
problem.
captain.
I love it.
He's just letting us know where we're going to be tomorrow, how long it's going to take,
Oh, I
how
love
fast we're going to go. So usually when we're about to leave, the captain will make an announcement. We're about to leave. This is how fast we're going to go. This is when we're going to arrive. Things like that.
So what's Seasickness? What's your next port?
Livorno, Italy. So it's like Pisa, like you know the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's around that area. Quite loud, right?
Yeah, but it's part of your job, and I think it's cool, you know. I mean, otherwise, you know, if you were at home, me talking to you like when you're not on the ship, I wouldn't do any of this, right? So I like it. I like it because it's what happens for you, right?
He's making a very, very long announcement this time. Right in the middle of my interview, I was like, how dare he?
Yeah, what's the matter with him? Hey, Captain. I told him later on, you were in the middle of my interview. Oh, I love it. So now you were talking about, you know, your interaction with some of the guests and maybe the other performers or whatever, the employees that when you're off the ship, do some of the people that you made friends with, say the guests, do they contact you? Have you made any of that kind of connection?
Yeah, all the time. Actually, I just went out with a guest a few days ago in Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just in Barcelona, and we met up for coffee, and then I went and I had like a Korean lunch, a Korean barbecue style lunch with some of my friends, like that I've made on the ship, some of the crew.
Right.
So yeah, the guests, I got a SIM card now, so when I go off the ship, I have the internet.
Nice, yeah.
It's nice, yeah.
Did you ever get seasick?
I think one time I did, and we were like, by Japan in the Tasmanian Sea, and it was very.
Oh, your sound just went off. Something happened to the sound. I lost.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the sound went off for a few minutes there, so don't know what happened. But
so I was saying.
Yeah, you got seasick one time.
Oh yeah, one time the waves, because actually you do feel this ship is quite large. If it's 4,400 guests and 1,500 crew.
Oh my goodness.
So it's very large. So the larger the ship, the less you're gonna feel it. But my very first ship was a half the size, and so when in the sea, when you know it was kind of like a typhoon was coming or something. So it was very, very wavy. I got a little bit seasick there, but they have so many seasickness tablets here. You just got to run down to guest service and get them, and they work good.
Okay, great. Well, I think we're just about out of time. I really do appreciate you doing with me. It was kind of fun, you know, to talk to somebody who's on a ship at the moment, right? And getting to hear the captain interrupt us.
Which he always does during my performances. I'm always like, oh no, he's cutting me off. But you know what? Thank you so much, Nancy. It was really nice for you to reach out, and I do appreciate that.
Thank you. Just stay on camera for a second. I just want to say to the audience, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed hearing Michelle Joly and what her job entails and how she got her job and what she did previously. It's all so much fun. Take care, everybody. Have a good day and peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.